Before we get very far into our next story, we do have a warning for you tonight. What you're about to see and hear may not be suitable for children. Tonight, take a walk in their world.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a relatively quick Transpicuous News, another geomagnetic update. I'm going to start off this report. First of all, it is March 7th at 8 p.m. Central European Time. I'm going to start off the report with a section that I recorded last night at the beginning of the UnFuckIt discussion that kind of just talked about the last 48 hours in the geomagnetics. And we take a look at what happened on the 2nd of March on the Schumann Resonance. And then I'm going to show you two other little things. One I'd forgotten to show you last night, another one that just showed up for me today that is like, what the hell? The one at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm just going to pull this forward. I got to see if I can find the right timestamp where everything started going absolutely crazy. As you can see, we had hits after hits, and it's been nonstop all month, just like February, just continuous hits going on to the magnetosphere. And we had a couple of strange ones. Bear with me, I'm trying to chase forward because, of course, I forgot to memorize what time. Now, here's one of the first ones. We have a lot of blackouts right now happening in the magnetosphere feed. To the point of, on a couple of days, we've lost even as many as 6 to 10 hours of the feed. Just goes, it's just gone. Now, this was interesting. This was on the 5th at around just before 11 o'clock in the morning. And I wanted to point this out because I've been trying to, you know me, I'm always trying to analyze and look at the data, and I'm trying to look and figure out, okay, if we have, for example, 0 kp, i.e. the magnetic field is at its absolute weakest, what are we seeing versus when we have geomagnetic storms? Well, we've had a geomagnetic storm last week, all throughout the week. We saw this happen here. I'm going to try and pull it back a sec here. This is just before 11 o'clock in the morning. And you can see we have our usual red band here, okay, with the bow shock here. And the color red, the colors that you see are an indicator of the intensity, okay, the intensity of the particles coming in and what's hitting our magnetosphere. So when we go through this, okay, we see we have a little bit of a jump for about 10 minutes, and we see a big blast of green, which is a completely different color. We do not see these green colors, which is right just a hair above 0. I can't even explain that. We don't see this very often. What's interesting is what happens to the magnetopause as we go through, and I'm showing you this frame by frame. As you can see, the whole bow shock fades right back down to a yellow-orange, but look at right around the planet, inside the magnetosphere of the planet, so basically within our atmosphere. You're seeing the feed lines coming directly in. This is a great shot because it does show you this. This is where it hits, and then it feeds directly into the poles. And you can see the entire inner side, inner sphere, if you will, is completely red with the density. Now we'll go through here, and I'm just going to show you this so you can see, and then it heats back up again, you get back to the red. What we have seen a lot, especially through the end of February, is this, where the inside of the magnetosphere remains very, very red. Now, I'm just going to hit play because I'm trying to get to one specific piece, and I can't remember if it's last night. Okay, so here's one. We have the big tangle, massive, massive hit at 1300, and we had several of these. And here it comes. So, how do you like these apples? Now take it back frame by frame so you can see it form. You can see the tangle starts. You get the red first, which is our closed magnetic lines. Then next you can see the black pulling in, which is the polar caps. Then we see the blue pulling in. That's the interplanetary magnetic fields. And then watch how it plays out. This comes in, just gets bigger and bigger, like crazy, crazy, crazy. And the rest of the night, the polar caps just go completely crazy. Okay, there's another one of the big, huge blasts that we see just before midnight. Just before 7 o'clock this morning, okay? We had something go on. I'm going to take you through this frame by frame. You'll watch, you're going to see, so 7:52, come on, can you work please, mouse? 8:11, so we have a little bit of a jump there where we're missing a couple of frames. Now you're going to see this. The entire northern polar caps completely severed. They've completely separated. The southern polar caps are coming down and being pushed all the way up and around and then going off to the north. And we've got some of the one of the southern polar caps is actually going in the other direction up this way. You can see the massive compression where the front closed magnetic lines are actually being pressed up here. And I'm going to show you this. 8 o'clock in the morning. This continues like this. And again, you can see the red lines are all being pushed up. It's all being pushed, if you will, to the north direction. And to the point of this, here we've got the forward magnetic lines are actually being pulled around behind to the back side. Now I want to show you, we're just going, and you can see we're now at 9 o'clock in the morning. And you'll get, every so often, you'll get one magnetic polar line will reconnect, but they don't stay connected for long. And you can see this, and I've never seen something like this happen for this long, where the entire northern side is staying completely open. Everything is in a very fat, wide bubble, but it's very compressed, looking almost as if it's being compressed from both sides. And then we see, come on, keep going. Now we're at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's still happening. We've got one magnetic north pole line connected. Come on, keep going. And you can see the undulation. You look at this. Just cracked lines everywhere. There are no northern pole lines attached. There have not been in hours. Southern pole line, the inner line here, is going all the way around to the north, almost completing a circle before it is blasted up straight. Now this is stuff that I've never seen to this extent before for this long. Now, what's interesting is, last week we had a geomagnetic storm. We had a coronal hole, we had solar wind speeds coming in. And the solar wind speeds got up a little bit. There were a couple of times where it hit 900 kilometers a second. I think there was once or twice when it hit 1100 kilometers a second. But considering in January when we were seeing those massive blasts, we were seeing the solar wind speeds coming in and hitting 15 to 19 to once or twice 2100 kilometers a second. Today and yesterday, everything you just saw, all those massive blasts, the solar wind speed over here never cracked above 500, 550. I think once we might have got close to 600, but for the most part, it hovers at 450, 470 kilometers a second, which is really, really average normal, which says the solar wind speed wasn't what was causing all the disturbances that we saw. It can't be. On March 3rd, on the Schumann Resonance, we got this fucking shit happening. Now, like I said, in all my years of watching the Schumann Resonance, I have never seen a shape like that appear on the Schumann charts. So same type of thing. You're saying, okay, we're looking at this. This is just past 3. This is Tomsk, Russia, which is 7 hours ahead of UTC. So this began, if we're looking at, say, if we say 4 o'clock, that means it began at 2100 on the 2nd of March, UTC. Like if you're going to line up time zones, because this is in the Russian time zone, so it's not on UTC. Around 2100 UTC on March 2nd, we saw this. And the same thing, like the epic insanity that was playing out in the last couple of days, where everyone's talking about the stuff that they were experiencing. Again, the physical, unbelievable shit that everyone was going through. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you, this showed up for me just a few minutes ago. And you see videos come by on YouTube or on Facebook, etc. And I immediately go to the source to go verify, because I want to know it's come from that website. It's not, obviously, if NASA's going to fool us with CGI, fine, but I want to make sure it's not some, amateur trying to fool us with CGI. And what I saw was so ridiculous that I literally almost did a double take myself. Watch this. We are on the SDO. Okay? They were on NASA's site right there. Government data, NASA. We're going to start this. It's a 48-hour, really, really fast, 48-hour look at the sun, starting on March 5th at just after 1. At 13:18. Now, let me just hit play here. So watch this. Like I said, it goes by pretty quick. And we'll pull it back. So I was having trouble with the buffering. What the fuck? Like, what was the yo-yo that just bounced in front of the sun? Oh, it gets better, because I went through and I checked the rest of the feeds as well, the rest of the various filters. Got to see if there's an anomaly here. Let's go to one of the other ones here, 48-hour video. Same date, same times. Oh, wow. Personally, I'd like an explanation from NASA for this, because I'm not quite sure what the hell we just saw. Here we go. Let's look at another one. Boing. That is some serious, crazy, crazy shit. Like, crazy. What the hell was that supposed to have been? Okay, so took place just after midnight, it looks like, early morning on between the 6th and the 7th of March. Now I got something else I want to show you. Bear with me a moment. And Callahan and I were discussing this back on March 3rd. And we weren't the only one who obviously spotted it. This is the GOES Mignogna. We always see this. We see the red and blue lines. They wander a little bit away from each other a bit, as you can see, but they're always exactly together. Oh, until March 3rd, when all of a sudden this happened. What the fuck is that? Same thing. I have never seen the GOES magnometers show data like this before. What does this even mean? I have no clue. No clue. If someone's got an answer out there for me, please let me know. I have not a clue what that's supposed to mean. So we have some bizarre anomalies in the magnetosphere. We have yesterday pretty much close to 4 hours where the northern magnetic polar caps are just completely severed and the southern ones are being blown all the way up to the north. We have the bizarreness on the Schumann resonance in the 2nd into the 3rd of March. We have the GOES magnometer on the 3rd. And then on the 6th to 7th, we have a bouncing beach ball frisbee yo-yo that apparently bounces in front of the sun on the SDO cameras. I don't know about you, but I have some questions. I don't have any answers, not a clue, but I have some serious questions. I'm going to look into it some more. I'll see if I can dig up any more information. And when I do, I'll send it your way, guys. Bye.